guess, give a story or your opinion on bullies and why kids bully, or even adults, for that matter.
So I think that bullying comes from a lot of different places. Um, it starts from a lot of different places. What people's situations are and what their particular backgrounds are, who knows. But I think that bullying is a very sad thing. I think that it's a self reflection of how they may actually feel about themselves, and they project that onto another individual to make them feel just as bad as they do. Um, for the most part, I think that bullies even bully because they were bullied, and that's really sad because they're just perpetuating the situation and they're just making things worse. And why would you want to bully someone when you know how that feels? You've been in that situation. Um, that's not a very good feeling, and especially like when you think about it and you think of it in terms of school. Let's just take school for an example. When kids are in school, they're there to learn. They're not there. Parents don't send their kids to schools to be picked on, to be bullied, to be ridiculed, talked about, put down, and made to feel at their absolute worst. And then when they get home, the parent is left to deal with that and try to pick up the pieces, and then they have to try to deprogram them and to try to motivate them and try to build them back up. But when you're around this for 6 hours in a day, come on, let's just be real, it gets to you. And so consequently, you have kids who are now going to the extreme, such as hanging themselves. This thing is very serious. And I just think that it's sad that in the brick and mortar and in the public schools that the people to be, or should I say the principals and the teachers, the administration, they don't really take it as serious as they should. It's a very serious thing, and no one wants to get a phone call saying that their child committed suicide because they couldn't deal with the pressures of what was going on in school. And a lot of times kids would internalize that. You would think that they would, be outward about it, that they would talk to their parents about it and things like that. But even when they're telling the teacher's not really doing anything. Telling the child, oh, just ignore them, just don't focus on what they're saying. How can you sit in a classroom and concentrate on your work and be productive, in your studies if you're constantly listening to people in your ear, say nasty, mean, asinine things towards you or about you? Those are not things that you can ignore. And let's just be honest, it works on your self-esteem. So you can have the most confident personality or the most confident spirit, but when somebody just keeps jagging at you and jagging at you and jagging at you, eventually you start to feel different about yourself and you start to think, well, maybe perhaps they could be right. I've seen quite a few stories. I've dealt with being bullied, as a child growing up in school, and I know what that's like. I know what it was like to have to transfer out of a school because it was just way too much to deal with. It deals on your psyche, it deals with your mental. It's just not a very good thing, and I just really wish that there was more put into place to stop the bullying, that it was taken more serious, and that it wasn't just pushed under the rug.
Talk on it. We'll just cut it out.
Let's see. I had a thought. I think that's good. Sorry, whispering. No, because I don't want to hear my voice too much in there. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah, we think we're good.
Stop this one too.
Yeah, you